All right, doesn't look like anyone else has any other questions, which is fine. I'll be having Q&A at the end. If you do have a question or something feels like it's not working right or something like that, go ahead and do a thumbs up or something like that, and I'll try to keep an eye on the chat box, okay? But let's enjoy the evening. We're going to start standing tonight. So this is another way that you can start a vinyasa class. So if you've done vinyasa, we are going to be standing. If you've never done vinyasa and yoga, well, this is a different way that you can come in. We don't always start on the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and get us all ready. And we are going to start near the back of our mats tonight. So for me, my back of my mat is about a foot to about a foot and a half away from the back because I'm only 5'1". My mat is a 7-foot mat, which is the normal length for a mat. If you are taller, because I know some of you are, you may be able to start at the back of the mat, and when you come down and walk your hands forward, you're all the way at the other end. For me, that's not always the case. I'll probably be able to walk my hands to about where my blocks start. So because I want to be able to aim for my block section, I start a little further from the end of the mat. And it's funny because if you could actually see my mat up close, you can tell the spots that I put my feet the most. There's little indentation and marks. This mat is 7, 8 years old. I probably should retire it, but it is my favorite mat. So it is still with me. So it really shows its wear, but not on camera, which is awesome. So what we're going to do with our starting of today, we're going to wind down at the end, but we're going to be a little bit more invigorated at the beginning of our class. All right. So usually we kind of take it slow, getting into it. Today, we're going to do a different style of vinyasa, which if you walk into a class in a studio or some of the ones that you find online, they're going to start immediately. And that is one style of vinyasa. Since this is a gentle, we're not going to go super fast. I still want you to listen to your body. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, not even me. Don't compare yourself to any picture you've seen or yourself any other time frame. You are who you are right now, and we're going to honor that person that just stepped into your yoga space, all right? So we're going to stand in Tadasana. That's where you line your shoulders, your hip points, your knees, and your ankles all together in a nice line all the way up. Toes facing forward, knees are slightly bent. And then we take that tailbone down, navel slightly draws up and in, and the shoulders relax. Palms face forward a little bit. And breathing into your belly, breathing in and out. Mentally, physically, emotionally setting up your yoga space. This is your sacred time. Even if you're doing this with somebody else, this is your time. Take a deep breath in and own that. And breathe out. Take a breath all the way down to your toes. Big breath. And let it out. Good. One more and raise your shoulders all the way up to your ears. And when you breathe out, let those shoulders come down. First, we're going to let them come down slowly. 2 more times, we're going to shrug those shoulders. I want you to think of all that tension that you hold, all those worries and concerns, anxieties, pinch them, pinch them, pinch them. And as we breathe out, let them all drop off your shoulders. Try it again. Shake it off. Shake it out. Shake out those arms, shake out those hands, shake them out. Oh, shake off the day. It's like a dog that just got let. Shake it off. Shake it off. Okay. Come back to your neutral, into your Tadasana. We're going to start with taking our arms up overhead. So big breath. Let your hands float up. Reach for the sky, fingertips up, squeezing the ears with our elbows and our arms just a wee bit. Tailbone down, slight bend in the knees. Breathe in and out. You're going to feel everything expanding. Take your tailbone down to protect your back. And then we're going to roll those arms behind us and slowly bend the knees, but your shins are going towards the toes, towards the mat, straight down. Arms reach for a mini chair. Tailbone goes down, we reach forward, and then we're going to stand back up. Hands up. Reach for the sky and then breathe out. This is called the breath of joy. Let's do it a little faster. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. One more. And breathe out. We're going to hold that chair. We're squeezing the inner thighs, rolling them in and back. Shins going towards the toes, tailbone down, long in the spine. Arms are reaching forward, but we're not hunching. Nice long spine. And then bring the hands together in Andala Mudra. Let them rest at your heart. Roll the shoulders back, trying to pull the elbows apart, pressing the palms together. You can do wide hands or cupped hands. I know your legs are probably getting tired, so we're going to unbend those legs. We're just going to let ourselves unhinge just a little bit. And then exhale back into that. Sitting down, tailbone. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, rebend. Okay, we're going to add to that. We're going to do a little bit of a twist. We're going to take our torso and go towards our right side, but we're going to let our knees and hips stay forward, all right? Exhale, twist. Inhale, center, stand all the way up. Give your legs a break. Big breath in. Exhale as we come down. Pause. Big breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Knees still go forward. Inhale, center, and stand up. One more time, each side. This is going to help your obliques and your lung health. And strengthening our legs. Let your arms come down, standing. We're going to reach those arms all the way up, and then we're going to take our right hand and we're going to hold the left wrist all the way up. Reach that left arm up towards the sky. Maybe even squeezing the head with the arms a little bit, and then we're going to exhale, hinge over to the right. Breathe in and out, tailbone towards the heels. Maybe even tuck the chin towards the sternum just a wee bit. Bend the right knee. Opening that whole left side. Now unbend the right knee and bend the left. It's going to get a little deeper in the rib cage. Bend both knees and slowly come up. Tailbone goes down, navel comes in. Switch arms, reach that right arm even further up, unbend the knees. Up, 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 up. Exhale over to the left. Good job, everybody. Tailbone down, navel in, but you can still breathe. Bend the left knee. Unbend, bend the left, or the right knee, sorry. Unbend, both knees bend, and then inhale up. We're going to swan dive, forward fold. So let those arms come out in T. Exhale, your belly button lead the way. Heart is second. Let the knees still be bent. Thighs and belly meet, and let the arms relax down to the floor. If your head feels okay to do so, let the head drop down. Just kind of hang in there. Your legs are supporting you. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Let all that tension drop off the shoulders. Unbend one leg. It doesn't matter which one. Just let it unbend. There might be some shaking as it releases. Breathing in and out. Let the tension drop out of your shoulders, off of your hips. Bend that knee, unbend the opposite leg. Same thing. Let all that anxiety, worries, frustrations, angers, whatever, drips out of the body. The Anamana Kosha. In yoga, we have 5 sheaths, 5 types of energy within our aura, our field, our body. Bend the knees. We're going to look up a little bit. Bring your hands to your knees, neutral spine or half back. And then exhale, come back down and unbend those knees for a true forward fold. Might be the first time you have your legs more unbent today, and that's okay. Rock your weight towards your heels, rock your weight towards your toes. You may not be able to unbend your knees completely yet. That's all right. Honor it. Don't judge. My legs aren't completely unbent yet. All right, we're going to come back into that chair. Look up. Booty starts to drop down. Head and chest come up. Arms reach out like you're sitting in a chair. We're going to stand all the way back up. Arms come out in T position. Palms facing down, reaching for opposite walls. And then we're going to reach. I'm going to move. You stay where you are. We're going to reach our hands to one side, just like somebody is tugging, but we're not falling over. We're reaching. And then we're going to come back to center and we'll reach over to the other side. Back and forth. We're going to do this later with our legs open. There's going to be a complete different feeling. One more time on each side. You may notice I do 3. It usually takes the nervous system and the body 3 times to actually let something go. That's why we tend to do 3. Let your arms go down. Roll those shoulders, roll the arms. And now we're going to do a little bit of fluid movement through this, what we were just doing, all right? So you're going to flow a little. Inhale, hands come all the way up, stand up nice and tall. Exhale, sway to one side. Inhale, up, sway to the other side. Inhale, up, swan dive, forward fold, bend the knees. Come down, unbend the knees. Take 2 good, healthy breaths here. Bend one knee. Unbend. Bend the other knee. Unbend. Exhale into chair. Bring the hands together and onto the mudra. Prayer hands. Try to aim the left elbow to the right knee as you twist. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Stand all the way back up. Hands are going to come all the way up. Reach for the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Bend one knee. Unbend. Bend the second knee. Unbend. Exhale, chair. Onto the mudra. Twist elbow to knee. Inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale. Inhale. Belly's going to come down to the thighs. Roll around those thighs. Let everything kind of hang. Unbend the knee. Squeeze those inner thighs. Roll them to the back of the room. Try to pull the pinky toes away from each other. Navel towards the spine. Rock forward and back on your feet and then try to find the center of them. Good job. Sway side to side just a little bit. So we're doing a couple things here. We're opening the legs, which is probably the most obvious to our bodies. But letting our head hang and the top body being supported by the bottom is letting space happen for our vertebrae, for the discs. When we wake up in the morning, it is the tallest and longest that our body's going to be. Throughout the day, gravity starts to smush our discs, weighing down our vertebrae. So we're giving it some space. All right, because our head's been hanging down, we're going to come up slow. Bend your knees, hands come to the knees. Roll the shoulders back, slowly hinge up, bring your head about heart height and pause. Breathe in and out. Remember those cat-cows that we've been doing? We're going to do that using our knees with our hands. Exhale, arch your back, tailbone down. Inhale, cow, knees can be bent. Exhale, so we're moving your spine. We're getting our hips to open. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, now we're going to stand up. So come to neutral, unbend your knees. Slowly start to unhinge. Nice long back. Try not to round it. Tailbone goes down, standing upright. Big breath in. So now we're going to open up the front of the body. We've done our sides, we've done our back body. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to do the beginnings of a back bend. Using a lot of vinyasas, a lot of flows, you'll see people doing back bends. And what it may look like is that I'm jutting my hips forward, but what's actually happening are the tailbone's going down, the navel's coming in, so my pelvis is actually staying in alignment. See how that's happening? Which is giving my back space to come down. Then you bend your knees and you just let yourself work, but this is all nice and straight. So in order to allow that are our hip flexors, and they have to open. So this is going to be the beginning of our hip flexor opening. That's why we're going to do lizard later and some of our other crescent moves. But to begin with the beginning of our back bends, we're going to take our hands and we're going to place them at our sacrum as a triangle-shaped bone at the back of our pelvis. We're going to let our hands rest there. The heels of the hands right at that sticky outy hip point at the top. All right? Fingertips going towards the coccyx, towards the tailbone. Shoulders roll back. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. And then we're going to slowly take our fingertips and help that pelvis go down. Notice what happens here in the front of your body, okay? And then rebend the knees, let the booty come up a little bit. So we're duck butting, and then we're going to let it come back into balance. Feel that kind of pulls here in the front. Those are your hip flexors. One more time. And this next time, we're going to really squeeze those elbows towards each other and look up a little bit. You don't have to come back. If you know you can do a back bend, allow yourself to go there naturally, but I don't want you to force. Our backs do not need to force into a back bend. I'm not even going to come as far as I can. I'm just going to what space I've found. Bend your knees, roll your shoulders forward, and inhale up. We're going to do a ragdoll. So bend your knees, hold opposing elbows, and slowly come down. Let your back arch. Not necessarily your shoulders, but your back. Ragdoll. Come down only as far as you want. I tend to like to really bend my knees and let my belly and chest rest and let my booty drop down, kind of like a child's pose, standing. And that's what feels good to me. Yours might be completely different. Good. So remember I said we were going to start at the back of our mat for a reason? Here's the reason. Let your hands come down, look towards your blocks. We're going to start to walk those hands forward. Just like a monkey, walking our hands forward towards the blocks. We're going to come into our first downward dog, wide palms, fingers face towards the short side of the mat, as wide as you can make, just like you're trying to make the biggest turkey with your finger painting, biggest turkey, and then we're trying to suction cup, try to point those fingers, making a suction. All right. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows in so our shoulders are away from our ears. Bend your knees. It's a first downward dog. Lengthen your spine as long as you can go. Bicycle, walk in place. Unbending one leg, bending the other. You might not be as long as you can go, but that's okay. Take care of your back. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. If you feel like you can move your feet further back, great. If not, nothing wrong with that. It's the first one. All right. You inhale, look up. Come up to your tippy toes. We're going to rock our body weight over our wrists, bringing our chest forward just a little bit. Yoga plank. Tailbone comes towards the heels. Look up with your heart. Nice long plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet. Go slow. Retreating monkey. Into ragdoll. Inhale, look up, chair, exhale. Inhale, hands are going to come all the way up. Sway to one side. Inhale, up, sway to the other side. Breathe out. Inhale, up, swan dive, forward fold. Walk in place in your forward fold. Forward fold. Exhale, chair. Breathe out. Inhale all the way up. Roll those shoulders back. Hands find your sacrum. Do that slight back bend just a little bit. Open up the hip flexors. Resist the urge to jut the hips forward. It's tailbone down. Opening the chest and the shoulders. Opening the throat. If you have thyroid issues or you have a hard time speaking your voice, stick your tongue out. Be silly. Stick the tongue out. All right. Walk your hands up your back. Back down towards your blocks. Slowly come into your forward fold. If you want to ragdoll, ragdoll. Remember, it's your practice ultimately. I'm just a guide. And we're going to walk forward with our hands into our downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Start to lengthen your back as you walk forward. Planting your hands and then coming into your downward facing dog. Bending the left knee. Watch the shin try to be parallel to the mat. Unbend it. Do the same with the right. Unbend, downward facing dog. We're going to rock forward, look up. Come to the balls of the feet, bring the weight over the wrists, yoga plank. All right, let your shins come down, cat-cow. And pause. We're going to step the left foot in between the hands. So swing or step it through. Bring your blocks underneath your shoulders because you probably are going to need them. So you can notice that I'm kind of hunching right now. So I want to correct that. So I could either use fingertips as a tent or I can use my blocks at any height. I like to start in my medium. We're going to scoop our tailbone towards the front knee, looking up, proud, strong. Tailbone swoops. And then let your butt duck butt. All right, let the booty come back and then scoop it forward. It's going to feel like you're getting a massage here and in your lower back. We're going to start to move our front knee with that, all right? So right now, we're taking that shin towards second and third toe. We're trying to press as if it's a wall versus the knee moving. It's the shin moving like a wall towards the toes. Tailbone goes down to the floor and then scoops forward. Notice what that does in the low back. All right, now as we let the booty come up, we're going to unbend the front knee. Repeat. Breathe out. You can have your blocks up higher if you want. One more. Pause, the leg unbent. And inhale to center. Hands are going to come up to the knee. We're going to come up. There are different ways that you can have this back leg. Right now we have it further away from the front leg. There are versions that you can have it more square, so it looks like a cube. That's going to be a little bit more intense for some. But for tonight with what we're doing, the further is going to be okay. If you need props underneath those knees, go ahead. If you need something underneath the shin to protect the knee, there's nothing wrong with it. Hands come to the thigh. We're going to let the right arm come up, up, up. Now here comes some balance work. Squeeze the inner thighs, and we're going to exhale and hinge over. Press that other hand into the knee, or you can use your block. And feel some opening right here and here. All right, inhale up. We're going to switch arms. So you can bring your hand to your hip, or you can slide a block over there. Hinge over, squeeze inner thighs, take the tailbone forward. Good. Inhale back up. Hands find the blocks. Walk them forward, walk them forward, walk them forward. Pass that front toe. And then we're going to toe heel this front leg over to the side a little bit, to the side of the mat, maybe to the outside of this block. This is prep work for lizard, okay? We're not going to come into lizard yet, but we're prepping. We're going to scoop our tailbone and unbend the back knee. Our front shin is going to still go to second and third toe. Don't let it float out to the side. Float. And then unbend. Float. Scoop that tailbone. Good job. Unbend. Scoop. Good. Unbend. Neutral. We're going to bring that foot back. To meet the other one, switch the hips side to side. Good job. We're going to come to a child's pose in between. Walk your hands towards your knees. Bring the booty down over the heels. Legs together in this particular one, unless you really need to have your legs apart for your belly or chest. Walk those hands forward and then relax. Let the forehead rest on the floor or on a block. Inhale, look up. Come back into your tabletop. Cat-cow. And neutral. Bring your hands to those blocks. Swing or step your right foot in between the hands or the blocks. I'm a swinger versus a step through, just because that's how my body works. You'll be in yoga classes, that instructor's going to come right in between. I'm not one of them. That's not how my body works. All right. So now we're going to do that scoop and then let the booty come back. Scoop. Booty come back. Slide those blocks underneath your shoulders. Proud. Scoop. Shin towards second and third toe. Tailbone down and forward. And start to unbend that front knee. Inhale, go forward. Big breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. One more. And pause. Press that front foot in. You may feel yourself rise up a little bit, squeezing the inner thighs. Hands come to that front thigh. Left arm's going to come up. And exhale over to the right. Squeeze inner thighs. Push the back shin in and the front foot in. Tailbone down. Good. Inhale up. You can use those blocks if you need. I'm going to use my block on this side. Reach the right arm up. Exhale over to that left side. Good. Inhale up. Toe heel that front foot over a little bit. Blocks come on the inside. All right. Come forward a little. And then unbend. Press the back shin into the floor, letting the booty come back. Scoop the tail. Press the front shin towards second and third toe. So don't let that knee sneak in. Don't let it sneak out yet. And back. One more. We're prepping for lizard. Fantastic. All right, come up. Swing that foot back, swish the hips side to side, getting into the IT bands, the SI joints, the sides of the legs. Child's pose. Take a few breaths. Relax here. Good. Inhale, look up. Reach your hands towards your blocks, but place those hands on the floor. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog. When you're ready, take your time. Come up to tabletop just a little bit. Curl those toes underneath. Maybe prepare your feet by wiggling them. Come up halfway with your shins. Lengthen the back, then come into a downward facing dog. Maybe it's a small dog. Maybe it's not a big one. That's okay. Bend the right knee and point that right foot behind you. Inhale, lifting that right foot up. Keep the hips square. We're not going to do three-legged dog with the rounded hip yet. All right, let that right foot come down. Come into yoga plank. Come to your balls of your feet. Bend your knees. Yoga plank. Inhale. Good job. Don't slouch. Don't round. Downward facing dog. You've got this. Honor your body. Point the left toe. Lift it up off the floor a little bit. Square the hips. Maybe you have to look at them. And then bring that foot down. Yoga plank. Breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look up at your blocks. Bend your knees. We're going to step the left foot in between the hands and the blocks, or you can swing. So now we're up high. Slide those blocks underneath your hands. Scoop your tailbone towards the front shin. Front shin goes to second and third toe. Roll those shoulders back. Move those blocks as high as you need. This is a deeper runner's lunge. Feel your back heel trying to press away. Your front shin is going forward. Exhale, unbend your front knee. Inhale, rebend. Shin leads. Exhale, unbend. One more. Drop the back shin down. You're even further. You may actually be on your quad, so above the knee, which is absolutely fine. That's the better place to be. All right, you're going to feel some of your quadricep opening, and then bend your back knee, bring that heel towards your booty a little bit. Roll the ankle. Scoop your tailbone towards the front, opening that quad. Now this full pose, you can actually take that hand to that foot that you're rolling and let go of the blocks and sit completely up into a type of pigeon. We're not going to go there, but I'm just saying you may see pictures like that. We're not doing that tonight. Put that leg back down, come up a little, swing that front foot down, child's pose. Big breath in and out. We're going to come back into a downward facing dog. Roll your wrists. Wiggle those fingers. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Choose one of the feet. Point that foot. Lift that leg up as high as you can go, but square the hips. Press with all your might your hands into the mat. And then bring that foot down. Other leg, point the toes, lift the leg, square the hips. Push with all your might your hands into the floor. And then bring that foot down. Downward facing dog. Shake your head. Shake it out. Inhale, look up, yoga plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, bend your right knee. Look up, come to the ball of the left foot. We're going to step or swing that right foot forward. Use your blocks. Scoop your tailbone. Runner's lunge. Let your back heel drift away towards the back of the room. Tailbone scoops forward. Good. Pressing front shin forward, back heel back, squeezing inner thighs, unbend your front knee. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Use your hands on your blocks or on the floor to help you. Strengthening the arms, strengthening the core, lengthening parts of the body. All right, let that back calf or shin and quad come down. Heel towards booty. Roll that ankle. Keep breathing. Roll the other way. All right, let that foot come down. Bring the booty to neutral. Right leg swings back, and instead of the narrow child's pose, now we're going to walk our feet out as wide as we can. Toes come towards each other, but the knees are out. Walk those booties back over the heels. Let your hands come forward, but this time press your hands in. Really try to take your tailbone towards your heels. Coming down. Drawing your navel towards your spine a little bit. Press your hands in. You'll feel your feet and your shins trying to press in a little bit. That's okay. Now try to press the knees away from each other. Try to open up those hips a little bit more. Maybe you might, maybe you don't. Maybe it's just working something, and then relax. Walk your hands to the right side. Reach that left arm out a little bit further. Walk your hands to the left side. Walk that right hand a little bit further. Walk the hands to the middle and then towards your knees a little bit. You're going to feel more of your weight coming over your shins. And just walk side to side, kind of like you're just swaying side to side. Maybe let one hip come forward a little bit. Like you're using that hip bone to go forward, massaging this inner part of our thigh. All right. We're going to eventually come up to standing, but first we're going to do a little bit of a squat. We're going to walk our hands forward a little bit, almost like we're in a tabletop. Scoop your tailbone towards your heels of your hands and then back. Bring the balls of the feet to the floor and then bring your knees in, balls of the feet closer, knees. Curl those toes under, and then we're going to bring our booties over the heels, but our toes are curled, okay? And then what we're going to do is bring those hands towards the knees, draw the navel towards the spine, start to arch like a cat. Then press the hands and bend your elbows, lift the shins up, and let the heels come down towards the floor a little bit. They may not actually touch the floor, and that's okay. Rounding in our whole back. All right. For some people, they're going to be able to come up, no problem. Other people, you may not, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself. Don't think ill of yourself. So we're going to actually come into a forward fold. So how we're going to do that is we're going to stay on the balls of our feet. Toes are up off the floor. We're going to start to unbend our knees. Point, point, point. And then let the heels come down, forward fold. All right, exhale, chair. Inhale all the way up, roll those arms back, and stand in Tadasana where we started at the very beginning. Swing those hips side to side, and then pause again. Notice how your body feels front, back, side to side. Remember, our goal today is to get into a lizard. So we're going to continue to open up for this. So we're going to step wide on our mat. As wide as you can go that feels comfortable. And we're going to let our hips go side to side. So what we're doing is we're letting one hip drop down and the other one lifts. Side to side. We're opening up inner thighs, outer hips, Getting some fluid motion. You can do some hip circles here too, drawing circles with the hips. You can do that as well. Your tailbone goes down. All right. Squeezing inner thighs. You're going to feel some activation in the front of your hips and then try to push the feet away, tailbone back down. The arms open up to the sides. We're going to side to side, just like we did with our legs together. Side to side. Reach, reach, reach. Reach, reach, reach. All right, we're going to let our arms come all the way up. We're going to swan dive, forward fold. You can use a block if you want on the floor, or your hands come down into forward fold. A wide angle. We're going to do a wide angle downward facing dog. We're going to look forward. You can use blocks or hands. Walk forward. Plant the hands in. Roll the shoulders back and bring the weight of the booty over the heels the best you can. Squeeze those elbows towards each other. Lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. Let the head hang. Bend the knees a little bit. Walk the hands underneath the chest. Grab a block. Slide that block underneath your right hand. Bring your left hand to your sacrum. Remember the one that we were practicing our back bends with? Roll that left shoulder back and point the elbow towards the ceiling. Unbend your right hand and press it into the block. Notice how your heart turns towards the sky? That's perfect. Squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, twist. If you want, you can let go of the sacrum and let the hand come up. And then inhale, unwind. Let both hands rest on the block for a minute. All right, we're going to go the other way. So now the left hand presses into the block. Roll the right hand and shoulder back, point, or place those hands on the sacrum. Exhale as you twist to the right. If you want the arm to come up, go ahead. And then inhale, unwind. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your hands up to your hips. Inhale, start to come up. Slide the hands to the back. We're going to do a slight back bend here. I'm going to turn just so you can see. You stay where you are. All right, tailbone goes down. Squeeze the shoulders towards each other, opening the chest. Tailbone goes down. Try to press the feet away from each other. Tailbone goes down. Feet press away. Tailbone goes down. Feet press away. Good. To come out, bend the knees. Round the shoulders forward. Maybe you even reach one hand forward. Slowly come up. And round in your back a little bit through the shoulders, through the lower back. Let your arms dangle. You can bend your knees a little bit, just kind of like you're sitting there squatting and arms dangling. And toe heel your feet back underneath. Coming up to your standing. Hip circles. One way, the other way. Roll your shoulders. Good job. All right, so our next portion, we're going to work on our shoulders as we let all of the bottom part kind of have a break, all right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to come a little closer to show you some of the shoulder stuff, but you can stay where you are. What we're going to be doing is something that's really cool. You don't have to go down on your knees. I'm just doing that so that you can see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to let our arms come out in T position. And then we're going to take our fingertips and wing them towards the room behind us. So that engages. So if you don't, you can see how my tricep is hanging down here. We're going to wing that arm back. So we're winging our arms back, okay? We're going to lift the left arm up and take the palm towards the middle. Then here comes the funny part. We're going to stick that nose in that left armpit. Take a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, slowly let your right hand drift down towards your side, reaching fingertips away from each other. As you exhale this next time, let your chin go towards your sternum. slowly taking the chin to gaze over the right shoulder. Turn the left palm to face the left side. On your exhale, slowly let that left arm come down to the left side. Tailbone down, fingertips reaching for the floor. Then bring the right hand underneath the chin, lift the head up and move it to center. All right, we're going to do that on the other side. Hands come up and out into T position. This time, right arm goes up, palm faces the center. I'm going to stick that nose in that right arm. Take a deep breath in. And slowly lower that left arm down towards the floor, fingertips towards the floor, tailbone down. On your next exhale, chin goes towards sternum. And slowly taking your gaze over your left shoulder, big breath in. Turn the right palm away and exhale, slowly bring that arm down. Fingertips reach for the floor. Left hand comes underneath the chin, lift the head up and move to center. Roll the shoulders back and down. Good. All right. So most of you are still standing, so we're going to come down to our tabletop. We're going to let our blocks be in position if we need them. And we're going to swing or step our left foot forward. So I'm going to face you a little bit so you can see this. So we're going to step or swing that left foot forward. All right, just like we've been doing. So if we were on the mat and I was square, all right, so we're going to walk that foot out to the side, past the block like we did before. And we're going to do that same thing where we bring our booty forward. And we're going to bend our elbows coming down. So I'm going to turn back to where I would be on the mat. All right. Pointing the back toe, scooping the tailbone forward. And then you can let your pinky toes press into the floor on that left side, letting the big toe even come up off the floor if you want. So the foot comes up off the floor a little. So full pigeon, or this isn't pigeon, full lizard, you can come all the way down. Now, not everyone's going to be able to get into a full lizard, okay? I don't expect you to. So that's why we're using the blocks to come to where you want. This is great for opening up the hip. There are also other versions of lizard where we wrap a hand around and we do crazy stuff with our legs. We're not going to go there. We're just letting our hips open. You can rock. You can do little bits of twists. All right, to come out of that, use the hands on the floor or the block. Start to unbend your front knee. Didn't think that was actually going to feel good, did you? All right, swing that left foot, rock your hip side to side. Notice how your hip is opened. Good. Now we're going to do the other side. Swing that right foot. Walk it over. You can use your blocks. Use your blocks if you want. Scoop your tailbone towards the front. Bend your elbows, only coming down to what feels good to you. So my last side, I was able to go really deep. This side, I'm not going to be able to go as deep. This is about my limit right now because of a hip injury I've been dealing with. So I'm going to honor that. I'm not going to slouch. I'm not going to get mad. I think I actually want my blocks because I'm going to put my forearms on my blocks. My wrists want to break. And you can roll to the pinky side of that right foot. You can press it in. For me, I'm going to press it in because that's what my body needs, pushing the shin towards the middle toes. You come down into what feels right. 2 more big breaths here. Good. When you're ready to come out, unbend that front knee. Swing that leg next to the other one, side to side. We're going to do a little bit of a twist. Usually we do this laying down, but we're going to do this on our hands and knees. We're going to bring those blocks underneath our shoulders. And we're going to let our hips drift over to the right, and we're just going to pause a little bit. So we're letting those hips drift over. Bring yourself back up. I like to walk my blocks over so I can get over more. IT band. So last week we did our strap. This week we're letting gravity do it. You can also do arms out wide. You have control of how far you go over. So I'll turn so you can see from a different angle. Going side. You can roll to that full side of the leg once it warms up. And if you want, you can even pause, bring your hands down if you want. To do the other side, you just walk up, shins to floor. The other one come down. Good. All right. Swing those legs forward. We're going to do one seated forward fold. Point your toes up, roll those inner thighs in, and hinge down. Seated forward fold, Tadasana. Keep your chin at your sternum and slowly sit up. Let the soles of the feet come together a little bit more into a mild diamond or butterfly. Palms come together. Remember, you can use those blocks underneath the knees. Palms come together, arching the back, push the feet together. Take the knuckles forward, and then we're going to inhale, take the palms all the way up, belly comes forward. Exhale, knuckles go forward, arch. One more. One more with the knuckles forward, and then as we come up, we're not going to pause. We're going to let those arms go completely behind us. Let them rest on the floor. Scoop your tailbone forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, letting the heart come up. And then bend the elbows. Lengthen out your legs, shake them out. Decide how you want your Shavasana. This very last pose, Shavasana, is very important to our yoga practice. It helps us to integrate all the stuff that we did, balancing the nervous systems, the circulatory system. Tap your toes together. All right, so Shavasana. You can come down in a corpse pose. That's where you lay flat or like a starfish. You can put something underneath your knees. You can even put something underneath your neck. I'm going to use this round bolster for underneath my knees tonight. If you want to use a pillow, you can, but I'm going to use a round bolster for underneath my knees because that's what is calling to me. So to use something on your knees, I usually scoop my booty really close to it, then walk my arms down. And then usually we have a little bit too much gap in our lower back. So whether you're putting something underneath your knees or not, walk your feet underneath your knees a little bit, walk your fingertips towards your feet, scoop your booty toward your knees a little, and then drop it back down. And lengthen the legs out. You can let your legs be straight. You can let them be in a diamond or a butterfly. You can even have your arms up overhead if you want. If you have a lot of anxiety, you may want to be on your belly or even on your side. Shavasana, where we kind of take a mini nap, letting the forehead and the chin face the ceiling, and letting all the thoughts and tension melt from your head. All the tight muscles release. The face becomes very soft. The throat is open. The eyes become heavy in their sockets. The tongue relaxes. The jaws soften. Think of relaxation. What does that mean to you? Envision the most relaxing place you've ever been. What are the smells like in this most relaxing place? What are the colors and textures? The sounds, the feelings, the temperature, all of that perfect, relaxing place, whether you've been there or not yet. As the neck and shoulders feel relaxed, the hands are relaxed, the body is becoming that magical lightweight and heavy at the same time. And the neck, the back, the hips, the belly relax even more. The legs, the knees, the feet surrender. Your breath fills the full body from head to toe, and it relaxes even more with every breath that goes out. A sense of peace and gratitude for yourself, being thankful for this special time for you. Letting the eyes relax, letting all of the tension melt away. Letting yourself drift. It's okay, I'll bring you back when it's ready. Letting yourself almost fall asleep, but not quite. Body releases, relaxes. Full, deep shanti, peace. It's all the parts of ourselves, our wisdom self, the emotional self, the energetic, the higher self, the bliss, and our physical body. All work together like the colors of the rainbow. Envisioning yourself with a bright white light all the way around you, sealing all these good feelings in. And starting to bring these good feelings into your body. Being aware of the body lying on the earth, and the sky and the stars above you. Maybe even welcome in and allow the unconditional love and light of the universe, of those stars, of the earth to help you throughout the rest of your day, rest of your week. Slowly wiggling fingers and toes, yawning and stretching, wiggling around, making funny faces, sticking the tongue out, yawning and stretching, being mindful of any props you're using, and starting to envision yourself coming to your side. So maybe you have to walk those feet underneath your knees. Picture yourself rolling over before you do, so your brain and your body can work together, coming to a comfortable fetal position. And when you're ready, slowly coming up to a comfortable seated position. It doesn't have to be anything crazy yoga-like. It can be something comfortable. I'm going to sit on my bolster because that feels really good. Sitting where you can feel nice and tall, long in your spine. Crown of the head goes up, tailbone goes down, rolling the shoulders back. Big breath in and out. Your eyes relax. Bringing your hands over one another and in front of the heart. Feeling that heartbeat, feeling your breath. Think of something you're grateful for, something that you're happy for. And if there's any prayers, hopes, dreams, manifestations, or intentions that you have for yourself, your loved ones, your community, your world, your universes, let that envelop the space between your hands and your heart. When you're ready, imagine it flowing out and into the world, being heard, being seen, coming to light. And bringing your hands together in Andala Mudra, helping yourself feel centered left and right side, top and bottom, front and back. If you'd like to join me in the closing of an Om, 3 Shantis, and a Namaste, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you'd like to, take a deep breath in. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this Gentle Vinyasa class with myself, Haley Hinson of Sacred Lotus Heart. Thank you for coming and making these classes wonderful. I love spending this time with all of you. If you have any other questions moving forward, go ahead, go to my website, sacredlotusheart.com. The link is in the comments there. You can go there to email me to ask private questions if you'd like about your yoga practice or about meditation or anything that's involved with our practice here or anything else that that I provide service-wise. You can follow me on social media and ask those questions. And if you'd like to, I also have videos on YouTube for free if you want to go there. If you like a video, like it. If you'd like to be updated every time a new one comes out, just subscribe to the channel. It's free. So yeah, thank you for joining me for this Gentle Vinyasa class. In just a moment, I'm going to make it available that you can unmute yourself if you have a question about tonight's class. And then I'm also going to look at the chats. I see that 2 have come through. We did run over, so I'm sorry, everybody. But, oh, you're welcome, Valentina and Kathy. So I'm going to make it available for you to unmute. And you can ask away if you have any questions about tonight's class or your own practice, or if you have questions about any of the poses we did tonight. Or you can put in the chat box your question or comment about tonight. Does anyone have any questions about the practice that we did, any of the poses, or even your own practice? Oh, you're back cracked on the twist. In a good way, Jill, or in a not so good way? Because in a good way, that's good. You're releasing the gases in between all the joints. In a good way, yay! In a good way, yay! Good. Yes, sometimes we have joints cracking. This is my third class for the day, so well, my pops kind of came out during my chair yoga and my tai chi this morning. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. I'm glad that you're enjoying the class tonight. Yeah. So, did anyone have any issues with doing a lizard or any of our little crescents or side to side action? Anything going on in anyone's shoulders or neck or back that doesn't feel quite right and you need a little help with? Or any questions about any of the poses? No stupid questions. Remember, all questions are good ones. Anyone have any questions or comments? Anything that you experienced during class that you'd like to share with the group? Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away or share. What a lovely class. Love the lizard. I'm glad you like the lizard, Joanne. Figured you might like the lizard. Yeah. Good. I'm glad that you're able to let tension out, Jill. That is wonderful. That's one of the great things about yoga. You can let your mind kind of wander, yet also stay connected with your breath and how your body's flowing. Just get things to leave. Yeah. Anyone else have any other questions or comments? Oh, someone's on their motorcycle out there. You want to have questions? Okay. How critical is it to have your knee in line with the second and third toe during lunges? It's actually extremely important. The reason why is because of the alignment of the hip joint and the knee. So RJ, do you have a rebuilt knee or a rebuilt hip at all? Because if so, that can change things. But if you don't, the reason why it's good is because of the alignment of the bone structure and also the knee health long term. So I'm backing up to show you something. So if you continue to allow in your lunges your knee to go out to the side or to drift in, then over time you're going to weaken the knee joint. And so anytime you do a lunge, if you let your knees go past your toes all the time, you're actually weakening the knee joint and you're actually going to cause back pain long term wise. So, by Dr. Long and by the Iyengar, which is a style of yoga, Iyengar yoga, and Dr. Long is a yoga teacher as well as an orthopedic surgeon. He goes along the lines of Iyengar, which is all about alignment, and then you let yourself melt into it. And their whole thing is the knee joint will be damaged if you don't keep lining it up with second and third toe. It does take muscle structure to hold that in place. So we are building that. So if it's not doing it exactly yet, you can along the way. Good. So you don't have any knee joint or hip replacement. So it's gonna happen the more you work on it, and you're going to find more strength and length at the same time. So our knee joint, the bottom of our femur looks like this, and then the top of the bottom of the femur is like this, and then the ilium, that's our hip bone. The ilium is part of our hip. The tibula and the fibula. So those are the two bones that go down the outside of the leg. And then the femur, the big long bone in our thigh, they come together like that. That's all the knee joint is. So every time you bend your knee, it slides in and out of this groove. And when we bend our kneecap actually floats up. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not this is exposed bone. So every time that you let your knee go to the side, it starts to jump track. All right. So that's why alignment is so important, whether you go to a chiropractor, whether you find the perfect shoes, because if you keep walking out of alignment doing this, that's when those joints actually grind. If you keep bringing yourself into alignment, you can start to actually help repair some of the cartilage long term. It doesn't mean that it's all going to build back, but you can repair some of it by letting that track happen. Let me see. I have one of my anatomy books here. Let's see if I have a better picture of the knee to show this.
So Haley?
Yes.
So it's just something you'd need to work on if you can't have that alignment right away.
Right. And most likely the reason why the alignment isn't working is because of the muscle strength.
Okay.
Is your knee floating out or is it floating in?
Um, Neither. It's pretty aligned, but sometimes my hips, they're pretty tight throughout the day just because I sit a lot at my job,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just my practices are better some days than others.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, that's everybody. I've been studying since I was 14 and I'm 35. Some days my downward dog is very, very, very short. Other
Yeah.
days it's really long. We're always changing. Just like in the lizard, my one leg I could go really deep, and the other one may have looked deep to some, but it was a good 5 to 6 inches shorter than the other side. So it's good that you're honoring your body and you know that some days are better than others, and that's normal for the human body. Another trick for the hips. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago where we did this. We came in and out of the runner's lunge. That's another one that's going to help those hips to open. Any of the butterfly action and then letting the knees come in is going to release all of this too, especially for sitting. Even before the pandemic, it was kind of like an epidemic itself of being in chairs or standing a lot for work, and we get those really super tight hips. So anything that's going to help go side to side, rocking in place the best you can throughout the day, like we did the wide stance and then the short. Um, Doing the forward folds are great for the back of the body, but it doesn't always get, excuse me, doesn't always get into the hips. So doing any of those things that we were doing with the knees like this, you can also do this. I don't know if you were part of my chair yoga classes at all. You can do this in the chair. If you're at one without arms, you can scoot the booty off, drop the leg off, and do that extended leg. That's going to help start to open this hip. You can do your pigeon. So we did supine pigeon before where we were on our back doing this. You can do this in the chair. You can bring a foot behind the chair. Let's say you have arms and bring the booty forward a little bit, opening up hip flexor, opening this. Even at the desk, you can cross your legs and just kind of rock back and forth. It's going to help open up the hips. And then let your knees come in, rock back and forth. So I use a ball at my desk. I have a yoga ball at my desk at home. And then sometimes I put yoga blocks underneath my feet. There's all different kinds of ways because we all have had that time where we stand up and then we're like, oh, everything's so tight. Now I got to walk like this until you kind of warm up. And then you're able to stand up like a human and not walk like a
Right.
monkey. So all of
So
those you can do at work. Yes.
what about belly dancing? I took your belly dancing class.
You
So
like
that should
that?
probably loosen the hips too, right?
Yes. So any of those hip movements, those circular movements, the side to side, that's going to open up your side. What we did a couple weeks ago, we did this stretch, and then you can do your belly dancing. You can do your circles together, hip distance, wide, like we did tonight. That's going to open up inner and outer hips, side to side, forward and back. Yes, do your belly dancing circles, hip
Okay.
circles, hip circles.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Does anyone else have any other questions about tonight's class or your yoga practice in general? Or anything you'd like to share about your experience in any of the classes or tonight? All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody has any other questions or comments, which is absolutely fine. Remember, you can always contact me privately via my website, sacredlotusheart.com. You can also go to more classes that the library provides by going to their website, cooklib.org/events. And you can also always go to my website to contact me privately or follow me on any social media. You're welcome, Jill. Have a lovely evening, everybody. I will see you next week. And throughout the week, if you're doing your own practice, Please reach out if you have any questions. All right. Bye.